Good afternoon, everybody. It's Friday at 1 o'clock Queensland time, which means
we're going to have a little chat.
So today's topic is going to be on, like we said, one of our favorite things, which is using essential oils very safely with your pets.
Yes, and today we are going to touch upon the 5 oils that we recommend, the 5 top oils that we would recommend for any pet owner.
Yeah. As well as safety concerns, and also how to use those oils for certain things that are going to occur in the health of your animal.
Yeah.
Ready to go?
Let's get started.
So before we share what the oils are, we want to really highlight safety, because safety is an incredibly important thing when working with animals. So what's the first thing with safety?
Safety would be dilution.
Absolutely. So you've got to remember that pets are incredibly sensitive. They're not always going to weigh the same as a human, like an adult human. So they usually, well, mind you, a horse would weigh more than an adult, but that's okay. We're not talking about horses today. You've got to remember to be almost as cautious as you would be with a baby. So the more the dilution, the better. And because with essential oils, you do an often application, so every few hours or so, it means that they'll be getting about the same dosage that you would if you just did a once-off big shot.
Yes.
But the whole idea is to do it drip feeding along just to get those benefits.
And it also depends. I have a dog that's 20 kilos. You've got a dog that's
8
kilos. And I have a dog that's, I don't know, 15 kilos. Yeah. So every one of them will be different. So be aware of dilution rate. It's just like having a baby, a 2-year-old, and a 15-year-old.
Rightio. So, that's our babies.
They're our babies.
Some of the other safety concerns would be around the reaction that your pet will give you. So the first thing we do when we introduce an oil is we keep the cap on and we put it to the nose of the animal and we let them smell it with the cap on. So their sense of smell is so much wider and bigger than ours, and they will tell you straight away whether they like it or not. How do they tell you?
Well, sometimes, like I have 2 very different dogs. One will walk away, or even like sort of put her ears back and walk away if she's doesn't like it. The other one will lick it, knock it over, kind of be very interested. So they will show you in their own way.
Yeah, so those signs are very important, and we've said this before, like if your animal starts to run away or hide from you while you bring your oils out, then it's probably a good indication that they might not be enjoying it. Now, let's actually just talk about what's happened to you, because this is interesting. Sarah, as you know, has got 2 border collies that look almost identical, except they are 14 years apart.
Yes.
So
I have a 14-year-old who, as we have had her during that 14 years, we have put things on her, like if she's over the years flea treatment or even a little bit of natural sunscreen on her nose, she does not like it at all. As soon as you open bring that tube out, she runs away. So she's very sensitive to anything, and I think it's probably because of the smell. So introducing essential oils to her when she was maybe 11 or 12, she was very hesitant with anything new. Winnie, on the other hand, we have introduced them straight away. As soon as we got her at 8 weeks, we were starting to put, diluted lavender spray on her bed. So she's around it all the time. She loves it. She even licks it off my arm. She is not afraid of it at all. But Peggy, it's taken a little time because it's something that she hasn't been used to. So yeah, so I think that's something to be aware of. I think you're lucky if you have a puppy and just get it into them early and they're used to it. So.
Yeah, and that's the same with when I got Bear. There was already oils in our life, so that was easy. Some other things are that certain oils are really not good for animals. We're not going to cover those in today's topic. We're just going to focus on the 5 top oils that actually are good. So there is a lot of research available out on the internet. I would really check your sources though. We use doTERRA essential oils, as you know, because we believe in their quality and their safety. So we also follow the experts. This is very important. We're not vets. We're not claiming to be vets. We don't claim that we know everything about every illness relating to an animal. The same as a parent, not a but knows how to look after their children in a natural way and makes gut instinct type of decisions. And that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
And
we are parents to
we
fur
are
babies.
parents to fur babies, and this is how we're choosing to treat. So please, there are amazing people that we follow through the doTERRA. In fact, I was going to put and I still will, the pet advisory board now that has just been released on the doTERRA website. So there are 4 people on the panel, and like you follow them on Facebook or through their websites or whatever it is that platform you choose, and you will see from the horse's mouth.
That's a good one.
I know, brilliant. All right, so how do we use oils with the animals?
Well, why don't, like, the different ways?
Yeah.
Okay, so the top 3 ways we use essential oils, just like we do with ourselves, is aromatically. So
Which means?
through a diffuser or, breathing in, but with pets, we will use it through the diffuser.
And it's important that it's a water-based diffuser, just because of the way then it disperses. So you don't want to be burning the oils. I think that's a little bit, outdated now anyway.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Topically, and also which is on their fur or their skin.
And we're going to dilute when we use topical.
Absolutely. And the last way is ingesting orally.
So with that, we'll talk about some of those that you can ingest and how, but remember, because of dilution, it's probably best to do it with mixing it with food and a little bit of coconut oil anyway, that into their food generally is the best way.
Yeah.
Very few animals that I know prefer to just sort of lick it off of you.
Yeah.
That's pretty hardcore. But some of the recipes that are out there say you can put like a drop of whatever oil we're going to talk about in their water. I'm not sure all dogs like that because of the water and the oil not necessarily mixing so well. So just bear that in mind. Like, there are different ways and there are suggestions, but choose what your animal is preferring.
Absolutely. So let's get to the top 5.
All right. So we're going to start with our number 1 oil. And as you would imagine, it's going to be frankincense.
Yes.
So frankincense is such a versatile oil, both in the human world, but in the animal world as well. We know based off of science that this is going to be really good for cellular health. So basically anything to keep your body, your dog or cat's body in general well-being. You can diffuse it with anything. It's just going to add a little bit of oomph to whatever you're doing. It just is what we call an amplifier.
Yep.
But it's really good for an internal perspective. So we've shared before, Bear had surgery, and most of the feedback from our vets is that just to help the internal lining of the gut again and that internal cellular support is to have a drop of frankincense in their food daily, sometimes 2 drops depending on how large the animal is. So I'm talking about a small animal versus, like your 15 plus kilo dog.
Yeah. I've used this, the frankincense, with Peggy, my older dog, who suffers from a bit of arthritis at her age. So I've actually given it to her in her food, 1 drop. And also I've actually rubbed it on her fur as well, just for her joints. So there's different ways that you can use it. Also, you can put it in little diluted spray bottles with water and other oils in that as well. But yeah, it's a great one. And if you're in doubt, just like with humans, it's great to give that to our pets.
Exactly.
As well.
If you only had 1 oil to choose, that would be the one that you would go to first. Our next oil that we're going to go to is the lavender Highland. So lavender, again, is an incredible oil. And if you've used it in your life as well, you may know that it's really helpful for calming and peace. So maybe you've got an animal who gets really anxious or excited. This would be a beautiful oil just to put onto your hands, just a little dab, and sort of rub it in your hand. So most of the absorption is actually going into you, and what's left over, you then push down the back of their body along their spine. And that's a really nice way of getting it topically into their body. Lavender is one of those gentle oils that you don't necessarily have to dilute, like, crazy. Like I said, you could just put it into your hands and then rub onto the fur coat, but also wonderful to diffuse. So if you're looking for a bit of a peaceful environment while you're doing anything, like maybe you've got a work activity or you've got people coming around and you just need a bit of calming, this is great. Now, you said you use it as a spray for Winnie's bed.
Yes, I remember when he was a puppy, I got a little spray bottle, added water and a few drops of the lavender oil. It makes a beautiful smelling bed, but it also calmed her. You know, puppies are very excitable. They can be a little bit playful, and it was more to calm her.
Mhm.
And it worked really well. I've also used it with my older dog, being a little bit scared of storms. There's a few different blends that I've used, but lavender is also one of them, where I've just rubbed it in my hands and down her spine to calm her from just panicking during stormy weather. So yeah, great oil to use.
Yeah, so there you go. Those are two favorites. So another oil that we use a lot for anxiety or for calming, which, you know, sometimes the lavender, it's same with humans, it could be a bit too florally, it could be a bit too intense. So again, I like to use this word, the chemistry makeup of our body reacts differently with different oils. And sometimes they don't always gel. And that's okay. You just have to understand that, you know, maybe on a certain day, based on emotion or environment or anything like that, you might not gel with an oil. But an oil that is really, really good for both of those, anxiety or calming, is the Balance oil. Now, Balance is already slightly diluted with fractionated coconut oil, which means you can apply just a drop on your hands and put it onto the dog's coat already. But beautiful again in a diffuser, just to get that environment of where your animal is into a calm state. And to be honest, if you did, this is like going overboard, but the combination of all the three oils we've just spoken about now,
Balance, lavender, and frankincense in the diffuser. What an amazing balance. Wow, blend. Yeah, we know. Yeah.
So that would be wonderful. Any other stories you've got for Balance?
Balance I use quite a lot on Winnie. She's 1 on Monday, but she is such a loving and excitable dog. When we went out to a cafe before, we took them with us, and Winnie gets quite excited. So I just put 1 drop on my hand down her spine, and within minutes she calmed. So I personally think that the grounding blends, which are more sort of earthy, I don't know, I think dogs may tend to enjoy those smells a little bit better, because, you know, dogs love being out in the nature, they love rolling on the grass, they love being out in the bush, and maybe they prefer that sort of smell as well. So yeah.
That's in fact a very true statement, because they do, when you create blends that have got more of the woody, earthy elements, they seem to really
connect to them a little bit more than maybe the brighter sort of florally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So those seem pretty simple, and most people would go, oh, yeah, okay, I can make sense of that. The next 2 oils you might be thinking, a little bit interesting. I'm not sure if I've used this before, but we're going to talk about On Guard. So On Guard, as we know, is our protective blend, which means we're going to be using it so that we are maintaining the health of our animals, so that they are not getting susceptible to the common things that are flying around. Now, they don't really get colds and flus like we do as adults, but, you know, they pick up on little things. So it could be as simple as like a change in the weather, or a change in the season, a change in the environment that might put them a little off guard. So we want to have them use On Guard.
Now, Lynn's just asked us a very good question. Are these just for animals, or can I use these on children?
Of course you can use them on children.
Yeah, I mean, exactly what we're saying about using these for your pets, you can use them for your children as well. That's how most people use them, with children and with humans. An excitable child, one that is hyperactive, Balance is amazing. It's calming. All those properties carry over to kids as well. So all it is just checking out the dilution rates for their ages, but you can ask us that. Cool.
Keep asking questions if you need to. We're happy to answer as we go along. The other thing with On Guard, how we would use it, again, you can put it in a spray bottle, you diffuse it, you can put a drop into their food. So I always just recommend, again, when you put it into their food, add a little teaspoon of coconut oil, just so that it makes it easier to blend in with the food, and it's not so harsh as they take a bite from it. So just a nice smoothness there.
Absolutely.
The other thing that I actually do, which I'm just going to share because it is the On Guard, is I don't have it with me. Do you have the sanitizer, the hand sanitizer?
No, I don't.
Oh, I do.
Oh, okay.
I'll be back in 2 seconds.
Amanda's got a hand sanitizer. You know those the gel ones that you usually use wherever you go when you've got
I don't have
grubby hands? Well, they're full of chemicals and you know, kind of smell like they are as well, and you kind of feel like, oh, this is going into my bloodstream. But On Guard has an amazing hand sanitizer, good when you're handling animals.
Yeah.
So, and children.
Exactly. Like we were just out, like we said, and I sprayed some on my hands and just cleaned this, and then I just, you know, patted my dog, and that's really wonderful. That's a good way of getting it into their system as well.
I probably wouldn't want to run my hands down with the other gels
over
my pet, but you know that these are safe. So, yeah.
All right, we're coming to our last one of the top 5. Remember, there are like up to 15 or so really good oils that we can use with animals, but these are our top 5. We might bring to you the following 5 in another Let's Chat talk that we do along the road. So this next one we're going to talk about is Digest Zen. So this is amazing. Like, just like us, we can go through tummy troubles with our little animals, and it can be from a change in diet, a change in an emotional state. So maybe you have gone away on holiday and you come back and they're a little angry with you or a little upset, or maybe they're really excited to see you, or maybe, you know, you've changed them from a food type. We like to do a raw food diet with our dogs, but maybe you're in a transition of raw food. Maybe they're just going through a heat. If you've got a dog that goes on heat, their appetite can change. So all of these things, if you just think about like what we would do for tummy troubles, or you know, upset tummy or an emotional whatever, then just a little rub of this, again in a diluted form, on their belly before meals or 2 or 3 times a day. Like, it doesn't have to only be around meals, can just help with their system coping with the changes that are happening.
And the great thing about the Digest Zen is you can buy it in the bottle that's undiluted. You can make your own, but if you don't want to make up your own, you can buy this in the rollable, which is already diluted.
Which is called the Touch.
The Touch. But I think it's good with pets. You can dilute it even more when you have your own bottle. I have what you were just saying. I've actually just gone through with Winnie. Oh, Lynn's got a question here. Our cat. Okay, we'll answer that in a tick, Lynn. Yeah, Winnie has just gone through heat. We also went away on holiday and came back, and she went off her food. She did vomit a little bit. We were just wondering what it was. I gave her a diluted rollable on her tummy.
So let's just say what the dilution was is we put 5 drops of Digest Zen in a 10 ml roller, filled the rest up with coconut oil, fractionated coconut oil, and then rubbed that on her tummy. So you can see that the dilution is less than what you would do for normal.
Yeah, absolutely. So Lynn's got a cat that's been vomiting. How do I give it to him?
Lynn, you do it exactly the way we've just said. You can, if your cat doesn't roll over and let you roll it on his belly, you can put it on your hand and then rub his belly area. So that's where you want to do it, where the digestive system is. So tummy area, and that'd be good. Remember, just introduce it first to the cat through the nose. So lid on and put it at his nose and let him smell it, and then see what his reaction is. We've noticed with our dogs, when they like it, little tongue comes out. If they don't like it, they walk away and sort of run away sometimes. So that's it. Those are our top 5. The good news is 4 of those 5 oils come in the top 10 oil kits. So if you've already bought yourself an essential oil kit, which would be the Home Essentials or the family pack version, or even the rollable version, you will already have 4 of those oils, and then all you would need to do would be to buy the Balance. And if you already don't have Balance and you have a doTERRA account, I'm going to ask, why don't you have Balance? Because it's like one of our most popular oils. So those are them. Nothing fancy with them, just really simple ways to use them, just like you would with your own body.
Absolutely.
Is that it?
Yeah, I think that's it.
If you don't have oils in your life, we're going to send a link now that will help you sign up for an account. If you want to know more information, if you're not already following our page, do so. We've got lots of helpful hints along the way and lots of videos to show you how to use oils with animals. And then, of course, if you want to just go to, my favorite person is Dr. Janet Roark, R-O-A-R-K, and she's an essential oil vet, EO vet. And she's based in Austin, Texas, and she's one of the people that are on the panel for the veterinary board with doTERRA. And there are books that you can buy on essential oils and pets. So, you know, just do your own research and keep yourself informed.
And if you have any questions for us, just ask us, and we can. We're happy to do that research and give you an answer as well.
Yeah.
So thanks for joining us.
That's
And
us. Yeah, we'll see you next week with a new topic.
see you later.
Bye.
Bye.